as Raw went on the air on October 1, 2001. While the opening video remained the same, the logo following it signaled on an end of an era, with the show renamed from Raw is War back to WWF RAW in response to the real-life events of the past 3 weeks, bringing another realization that the recent boom period is in the past, with another chapter being closed on the peak run of the industry, as Kurt Angle opened the show calling out Steve Austin, with him still not seen since losing the title at the Unforgiven pay-per-view, bringing out Rock instead, saying that he doesn't know or care where Austin is tonight, while calling out the Dudleys after laying out both Rock and Angle to close SmackDown last Thursday, setting up Shane McMahon coming out to book the 2 top matches for the night, with both defending the titles, booking Rock against the Dudleys in a tables handicap match and Angle against Shane for the title, with the Rock Angle Shane segment opening Raw big with a 4.3 rating and the highest rated opening quarter in over a month, as the end of the Raw is War run more than simply the logo, signaled the symbolic closure to the company's flagship show's all-time peak era, with the realization that the previous heights of the past 3 years that saw Raw becoming the biggest powerhouse in cable TV history would probably never be reached again in show history, with the Raw is War brand first debuting on a rebranding campaign on March 10, '97, with the company struggling to match the peaking WCW on a week that, outside of the revamped look, also saw the first official involvement of Vince Russo in the Raw writing team, with Vince McMahon days earlier after getting the Raw rating from the previous week at a record low 1.9 rating, declaring Russo's Raw magazine format as what should be the new template for the TV product, starting the ball rolling, with momentum spiking by the month to result in an unheard-of turnaround, with the show quadrupling its viewership over the next 2 years while forever revolutionizing wrestling television with its edgy presentation and more attention to detailed episodic storytelling than ever before or after. With both set to defend their titles later tonight, Rock and Angle were also at the center of SmackDown last Thursday, headlining the show in a main event billed as an historic match, with both the WWF and WCW World Champions teaming up for the first time ever, challenging the Dudleys for the tag titles in the main event to result in the most watched SmackDown in over a month, as even going against mega competition on Thursday night, with both major networks in NBC and CBS debuting their highest rated shows on the same night, with the season premieres of Friends and CSI combining for over 53 million viewers. The show did a 3.9 rating with over 6.3 million viewers in the most watched SmackDown broadcast since August 23. After advertising his appearance last Monday while teasing his return the following Thursday without delivering on both nights, Raw saw a show-long Angle again keeping Austin's name on the air without him appearing on the show, this time with Austin faxing Paul Heyman throughout the show, with Heyman reading Austin's messages on the air, setting up Austin's eventual return next Monday in his first appearance since Unforgiven for the Kurt Angle WWF title rematch. And while off television in the past 8 days, Austin continued to work regularly on the road, with him headlining in title matches against Angle on the 2 weekend house shows on September 29th and 30th in Jacksonville and Biloxi, with Raw next seeing a big star power 6-man tag match to close the first hour, with Taker, Kane and Jericho against Booker T and Van Dam going 7 minutes, jumping over 500,000 viewers to a first hour high 4.6 rating. And with RVD after organically getting over big, with the crowd being positioned as the potential next headliner in the top-tier list, a major reason for his popularity, with his unique in-ring style brought up concern that might hold him back from reaching the top, with Van Dam accidentally injuring several of his opponents in the ring in a high-profile list that so far included Austin, Angle, Jericho and Test, including a heated exchange with Angle during the week that saw Kurt giving him a receipt back with a stiff suplex in the ring, with JR on Friday commenting on Van Dam saying that he is quickly becoming one of the biggest superstars in the company, but his only concern is if he can lessen the injuries from his in-ring style, with Van Dam continuing to be highlighted on the night by pinning Jericho to win the six-man tag match, followed by him being asked by Shane to be in his corner against Angle in the title match coming up. Rock vs. the Dudleys in a WCW title tables match was placed midway through the show, with the Angle vs. Shane WWF title match set for the main event quarter, starting fast with Rock sprinting to the ring with the match going 8 minutes, as with the top of the hour at 10 p.m. signaling on the start of the second usually most watched and highest rated hour of wrestling television of the week. Branded as the War Zone since March '97, JR introduced viewers to what is now being changed to the Raw Zone, with the move to separate the show to 2 hours in the TV listings originally done by the company to be credited by advertisers with 2 highly rated hours of the WWF product on the weekly cable TV charts instead of a 1-2-hour show, as Rock vs. the Dudleys in the first match on the now Raw's own peaking the night with a 4.7 rating, ending up with Rock being put through a table by Shane McMahon before reversing it to lay out Bubba with a rock bottom through a second table to retain the title. What by now became the usual pattern with the second hour rating slide continued on the night, with the show after peaking with the Rock vs. Dudleys match dropping to a 4.5 rating and largely staying in that range for the rest of the night, featuring the second segment from Page with him during it foreshadowing his future career, saying that he loves yoga in another motivational speech, followed by a tag match and another fax message from Austin to Heyman responding to JR's comments throughout the night on him losing his self-respect after not showing up on TV since losing the title, saying that further disrespectful comments by Mr. Ross will result in him stomping a mud hole in Mr. Ross' 10-gallon head when he comes back. And while several big-name WCW contracts are about to expire in the next 2 months to start the year with speculation on them coming in, Bill Goldberg further emphasized that he is not gonna be one of them, with him continuing to take shots at the WWF on several platforms whenever asked if he's going back to wrestling, this time with a message on his website after him and Rick Steiner were in New York supporting the rescue workers, saying that the WWF is based in New York City and showed no support on the site as another reason he has no interest in working for the company. With Raw's featured promo segment in the second hour saw Christian complaining about the crowd not supporting him after winning the IC title to set up X-Pac coming out to play off his constant heat in buildings all across the country, saying that the crowd turned on him after winning singles titles when during his DX run he was one of the most popular wrestlers in the business, with Edge following with several worked shoot comments saying that 1998 called to tell him to feel free to join them in the year 2001. Making references to him once being part of the Brood until, unlike X-Pac, developing his own persona. The WWF's first ever reality series in a TV concept never seen before in the industry saw its season finale last Thursday, with Tough Enough announcing its 2 winners to get WWF contracts in a live ceremony show from WWF New York, with Head of Talent Relations Jim Ross announcing Maven and Nydia as the company's official new performers, as the show, which did strong numbers for the MTV time slot on most weeks during its debut season, peaked in the last episode with the final drawing an all-time high 2.5 rating to make it the highest-rated show on cable television last Thursday, guaranteeing a second season after the big success of the first, which averaged a 2 rating for the entire season, with casting starting in the next several weeks, with Maven thrown right into it with his first appearance on Raw, leading to an angle with his former trainer Tazz to set up his first official TV match this Thursday, and with Tough Enough showing strong rating performance to peak in the final episode. Raw's final quarter on the night was the opposite, with the recap and commercial-heavy 10:45 to 11 p.m. quarter, which also saw the entrances and start of the main event, dropped to a show-low 4.1 rating in an unprecedented situation where the traditionally main event quarter is the lowest rated of the night. Kurt Angle vs Shane McMahon in the rematch of their memorable King of the Ring street fight went 8 minutes for the WWF title, seeing Van Dam at ringside attempting to help Shane win the title with Steve Austin after the third straight show-long tease for his appearance again not showing up to end with Angle fighting off Van Dam's interference before going over Shane with the ankle lock to retain the title, with the Angle vs Shane main event gaining from the show low of the previous 15 minutes to rebound over 600,000 viewers to close the show with a 4.5 rating.